All right, we are now recording. All right, Q, please introduce yourself for everybody.
What's up, George? My name is Kivan Adames or Big Q. Um, I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm originally from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico.
Sweet. Could you just tell us a bit about your music career?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. My music career started when I was a kid, man. I mean, like, ever since I was a kid, I've always had uh, musical influences from everywhere, from my parents, from the island where I'm from just from my environment. Everywhere around me there was music.
Mm,
My parents were cleaning the house. There was music.
mm,
It was just always there.
mm.
But as far as my career in music, that started my professional recording and audio engineering and songwriting started when I was about 17 years old when I moved to Texas.
Mm. Um, Damn. Like, okay, what were like some of your from Puerto Rico? What were some of the like main experiences or influences from there specifically that you can say have kind of like attributed to your own style or preferences, that sort of stuff?
From Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
uh, it's a mixture of things, and
Yeah.
it's like this with all my musical influences from Puerto Rico or from here,
Yeah.
from the States, from anywhere. I mean, like I like to listen to anything that sounds good, and I try to take different pieces from here and there, like from reggaeton,
Yeah.
that's more of like a hip hop kind of sound in Spanish music,
Yeah.
and then like salsa, that
Mm.
has the big bands in it, has the horns and has all the percussions and everything.
Mm.
Chata,
Yeah.
merengue. There's a lot of different styles of music that come from the Caribbean and come uh, from the Latin countries. Latin
Yeah.
jazz. I would have to say that as far as like some names to put out there for you,
Mm.
like Gilberto Santa Rosa,
Mm.
El Gran Combo,
Mm.
um, La Sonora Ponceña. These are all people that my parents listened to, and I'm the back seat in the car, listening to their music while we riding around and everything, so I grew up on this too,
Yeah.
and I know all the words to all these songs, and at the time, like, I mean, I knew what the words literally meant, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what they were talking about. Kind of like,
Mm.
when you're growing up and you're listening to music in English that you can understand. It's like, well, I know what they're saying, but I don't
Yeah.
really know what they're saying. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get older, then you listen to it. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now I know what they're saying.
I'm
But
just thinking, man.
and
I'm
like
just thinking.
same thing.
Yeah. Go. Sorry. Go. 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 Go.
Oh, now I was gonna say like from reggaeton. I was gonna just name off a few people like Calle 13, Tego Calderon. Um, uh, that list is too long. uh, I forgot, I completely left out like Tito Puente and Celia Cruz. I listened
Yeah.
to a lot of Celia Cruz growing up too, and Tito Puente.
Yeah.
I just liked the way it sounded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you take different styles and different ways that people say certain things, and then you kind of make it your own. That's kind of what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
So
All right, man. It sounds awesome when you say it in Spanish, like those names. Like, I wish I could say it so, romantically like that. How would you say hip hop culture influences culture in general? For say even in Texas or when we're say in Dhaka, places like that. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, man?
well, check that out. I mean, like how it's on a global status. I
Mm.
mean, we had a lot of access to hip hop thanks to I guess the internet. We had it out there, and all that, but we really got it off of the bootlegs. Like all the CD shops where you can get like a CD for like 10 taka or something like that, or
Yeah, yeah,
15
yeah.
taka. You remember that?
I remember that,
Like
man.
like in Ulshan Circle
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't even remember the name of the CD shop we used to go to, but I remember I used to go in there and buy like 20 CDs
Yeah.
at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I had like this big old case of
Oh,
CDs.
those were the
But I
days,
mean, like,
man.
I know, right? Like when you could just get it. And I remember when the 50 Cent CD came out. You remember when Get Rich or Die Trying came out?
Hmm.
I mean, like that was like the album that at least me and Jason and I think like a few other people, like we just bumped that album to the point where like, like the CD was so scratched that we couldn't even listen to it no more,
Yeah.
And I think that itself, shows that hip hop is not just a genre of music. Rap is a genre of music, but hip hop is a culture. You know what I mean? Hip hop is like how does hip hop culture affect culture? Well, I mean, like it's a culture in itself. So I mean, in that it's going to have, I think, a tremendous effect on the youth and the public. It's going to have an effect regardless. It's just undeniable.
Yeah.
Like the fashion, these snapback hats. These are all old. I remember wearing these hats when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now this is coming back style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the fact that cornrows ain't in style no more. Like don't nobody wear cornrows no more. Everybody got the grown man look. With the haircut. People follow hip hop for the style, for the slang, because they think it's cool. You know what I mean? Like it's just when it came on in the scene back in the 70s and 80s, when it really popped on the scene. People didn't really know how to accept it or how to take it at first. I think more the corporate people didn't really know how to accept it, but we all knew what it was. We knew. These are people from our hoods, just telling it like it is. These are people from where we're from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we already knew that this is us finally getting a voice, and turning it into a culture. Hip hop turned into a culture.
Yeah. Like there's usually you find like there are the hip hop followers who follow like the underground scene, and then there are those who follow the mainstream. What's your views on that? Where do you see yourself? What are the pros and cons of both? Why do you think there is that duality also within hip hop?
That's a very good question. I try and stay on the fence and keep an eye out on both, really, because I mean, the underground is like it's like ball players in college that are trying to get drafted into the NBA, and the NBA is the mainstream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're looking out for all these star players in the underground, and all these, I guess you could say like the analogy is like all these badass rappers that will never get a chance, to be heard. You know what I mean? But now with the internet, every underground rapper has an opportunity to get up off their ass. They can get in the studio, record a song, put it on the CD. They don't even have to put it on the CD. They can make it on an MP3, put that thing up on the internet, and boom, it's global. You know what I mean? So like the underground is I think is a great thing. I feel like I'm part of the underground, and I feel like the underground will always be a part of me. But you do have to keep an eye out on what's going on in the main to kind of, I guess, follow along with things. You want to see what's going on out there, and you want to also know what's popular. I think the reason why I look at what's popular is because I don't like to conform to what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But you do want to also see what's popular, so that you can kind of try and incorporate that in your own thing and mix it in there somehow so that you can get people's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you want to do it in a unique way, and you want to try and be yourself. That's that's the main thing. So that's probably one of the biggest cons about the mainstream, and I'd say like the artists that are in the mainstream is that I think that it portrays a negative message that you have to be someone else, that you have to be something that you're not in order to make it. And I never really agree with that. I think that's why a lot of artists don't make it, because, or whatever you want to, whatever whatever the definition of making it is, I guess you could say. But a lot of underground artists don't get that chance because they feel like they're selling their soul, or they might get some sort of a deal, or they might get some sort of they might get in some sort of a situation with like an A&R or like a label of some sort, saying that, well, we want you to make this kind of a song. We want you to dress like this, with the skinny jeans and with the snapback hats and with the neon colors, and that's what people like right now.
Yeah, man.
We want you to make a certain kind of song because that's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
A lot of underground artists don't want to do that, so they remain underground. And some underground artists are successful in the underground.
Yeah.
A prime example is Tech Nine. Tech Nine is an artist from Kansas City. I don't know. I think you may have heard of him. Oliver showed me his music all the time back in high school, and I never knew who this cat was, but I knew that he had good music. And then when I come out here, 10 years later, this guy's just barely making it on the mainstream scene. Why? Because he said tech will never go mainstream. Mainstream will tech, meaning that I'm gonna stay myself. I'm gonna do what I need. I'm gonna do what I do because I already have a following. I already have a loyal fan base in the underground. They're gonna buy my CDs. They've already proven it 10 times over the past 20 years that he's been in the game, that he could sell 100,000, 200,000 CDs in the underground alone and be fine. So now the mainstream came at him. Lil Wayne hit him up to do a song on his latest album, The Carter 4. And when he did that song, his popularity shot up from he was like number 100 or something like that. He was like low on the Billboard charts and shot up to like number 17. Damn. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Just because you got Lil Wayne on this, or Lil Wayne got you on a song on his album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some underground artists they're lucky like that, I guess, or they're determined enough that they build an empire in the underground and a following in the underground. That's great. You know what I mean? Because that can turn into something very successful. Once the mainstream hears you, and if you go about it the right way, with the business mind that you're going to continue your own business and you're going to continue to do it your own way. You mean like if you're going to have a business deal with a distribution label or whatever, that's fine, but don't sell your name, don't sell, because then you don't have anything. Then they own you. They own the label, they own your name, they own everything, and they make all the money off of that. You know what I mean? So you want to hold on to that, and then you can do all the lucrative business deals you want, in the mainstream. That's great, that's gravy, but you got to do it the right way and educate yourself. Get an entertainment lawyer. Nice. Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sweet, man. I guess that's probably why we're probably talking with each other now, because I've had similar views about giving up ownership, to others, and especially when you're trying to do something good and you have your passion or you have your mission. There's no doubt that we need to work with other people, but I think I like noticing or watching people like Immortal Technique, KRS-One, prime examples as well of people who stay true to themselves yet can still make more than enough for themselves, and still have a loyal fan base and whatnot.
Immortal Technique is dope.
Yeah, man.
I don't think anybody could fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as lyricism,
dude.
And it's on his own tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree. And of course, because I'm doing cultural indigenous animations, I just saw his documentary, The Revolution of Immortal Technique, and he highlights a lot of indigenous issues. From his home country to other nations, and I think that's probably why, like this, I remember, growing up, we always listened to hip hop, and there was a time where I kind of like try to shed that image of myself, in order to go to make it, like what you were talking about, in terms of making it, started to try and dress up a bit, be a bit more corporate, whatever. But it just wasn't me, you know. And it's like as soon as I went back to my roots, you can call it roots. That's where I realized that indigenous people, they resonate highly with hip hop music. And it must be because of that underground element and, the roots of hip hop as well about, being oppressed and expressing yourself. And all those really tribal things you can call it, very raw. And Immortal Technique is the rawest.
He's raw, man.
Yeah, man. Sometimes too raw. But
sometimes too raw, a little too controversial for you.
Man.
But that's good. That's good stuff, man. I love listening to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, completely agree. Now, who are the indigenous of Puerto Rico? I know that's a weird question, but because it's very mixed. Like
indigenous people.
Yeah, the indigenous of Puerto Rico.
The Boricuas.
The what? The Boricas. Boricuas.
The Boricua.
Boricuas.
Boricuas. The Boricua tribe.
Interesting.
Like, you ever heard that song, like Big Pun, the old song, Boricua, Morena, Boricua.
Yes!
Oh. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Un Boricua Morena, un Boricua Moreno, that's a black Puerto Rican, basically. That's like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like my mom, my dad wouldn't be a Moreno. A Moreno is black. My dad's white until he opens his mouth. And then you like, oh, you from Caguas, okay, you're from wherever, but like,
oh,
but yeah, that's the Boricua. The Boricua is they're the natives. I guess you could say, they're the natives. I believe we were talking about this. The natives. The reason why, there's a lot of black Puerto Ricans with kinky hair, and then there's white Puerto Ricans that look white, blonde hair, blue eye, and everything like that, is because we were bred with the Spaniards and the Africans.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the Mexicans have straighter hair because they were bred with Indians, like the Indians from like the Native Americans, that have straight hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Mayans and the Aztecs and all of that, they had straight hair.
Yeah.
That's why they look like that, and that's why we look the way we look, is because we were bred with the Spaniards, who were all or mostly white, and the Africans.
Yeah.
So.
It's good now. I know who the natives are there, and I can always remember that song. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. Do you know? Were there any stories that your mom or your dad passed down to you that you remember that are from Puerto Rico that are sort of mythological or that sort of thing? Any stories, like traditional stories, like from the land, from the homeland, the motherland, that sort of stuff.
Well, there's a, like, for example, there's a holiday that we celebrate that I'm pretty sure that not everybody celebrates, but it's Three Kings Day. Have you heard of Three Kings Day?
Nah.
No?
No.
Well, I mean, it's how the three kings came when Jesus was born with gifts, and they rode on camels through the desert, and they went to Bethlehem, to the manger and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Puerto Ricans, we're very Catholic, so we're very, or most of us are anyway, we're Catholic based, and so we have a very strong faith, and so we get basically like two Christmases in a sense. We get like a on Christmas, celebrate Christmas just like everybody else, and New Year's, and then right after New Year's, on the 6th of January, that's supposedly when the three kings came in riding on the camels to give Jesus the gifts. And so what we do, right, is my parents told me, mira, lo que tiene que hacer es coge una caja ahí y mete un poquito de grama, meaning like you have to go and get a little shoebox, put some grass in the shoebox for the camels, and the three kings will bring a few more gifts, after Christmas, or whatever. So you don't get as many gifts as you do on Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, you get like maybe one gift or two gifts at the most, something like that.
Yeah.
And like when you wake up, it's kind of like how like when you leave out like milk and cookies for Santa or whatever, and like there's like no more cookies left, and just like half the milk is gone. Your parents like kind of make it seem like Santa was really there.
Yep.
Like they do the thing with the grass, and they like make like a trail or whatever to the gifts, and make it seem like the camels came in and like ate the grass or whatever. So like I guess that's a little like a kid's kind of thing that we have there.
Cute. So 2 Christmas. Nice. That's pretty random, but like Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna ask now. What were? Actually, no. Before I ask that question, why do you think song and dance is important in any culture?
Because song and dance is I mean, like that's the main. Those are two of the main factors of music right there. I mean, you can't have good music without a good song that will make you dance. You know what I mean, or that will make you feel one way or another. If it's a slow song, you can still dance to a slow song. You can still kind of sway from side to side, and you can feel it, and you can close your eyes or whatever. So I mean, dance. That's always been something that I feel like I want my music to be, to make people want to do. I want to make music that's going to make people feel good. You know what I mean? And most of the time when you hear music and you feel good, you want to dance. So
yeah, man.
I mean, like it just goes hand in hand, and especially like with the percussion. That if you have like some really good percussion in the song, I mean, that's just this. You could try all you want, but you're gonna dance. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
even if it's
happen.
a bit offbeat, it's like.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like, you might bob your head a little bit, or tap feet or something, but
eyebrow.
It's gonna happen, right? Just your eyebrow.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now final question, man. What were your favorite cartoons growing up?
Oh wow!
This is the animation.
Is it an animation question?
Yeah, it's an animation question. That you can remember.
Favorite cartoons growing up: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Like all the. Remember watching Johnny Quest?
Oh shit! Yeah. Anything on Cartoon
all
Network.
The Cartoon Network.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much anything on Cartoon Network. There was some good shows on Nickelodeon too, like Our Real Monsters and Rocko's Modern Life. There was a bunch, man. I mean, like it's just not the same anymore now. These kids nowadays don't know what they're missing.
Listen to us, man. We must be old now.
Hey, man, speak for yourself.
Yeah, hearing you say kids these days.
I know we're just not getting older, dog. Remember, we're just getting
wiser. Agreed.
These kids are getting older. That's what it is. These kids are getting older. Not us.
Why do you think those cartoons? Why do you think we remember them so well? Do you think it was the cartoons themselves, the stories? Like, I don't know if it's the stories, because they were like, looking back on some of those cartoons, some of them were quite silly and like senseless. But what do you think? Yeah, contributed to us remembering those things. Do you think there's like an aspect of like animated cartoons that just resonates with us and just sticks with us?
I think that there is for every generation, like well, there are some cartoons like a lot of Disney cartoons and a lot of like the older cartoons like Scooby Doo, like the cartoons that were popular like in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Like those are kind of timeless cartoons that even now you can watch and be like, that's still kind of funny, It's still like, it just puts a smile on your face because you get kind of nostalgic, or maybe or maybe maybe it was funny, Like, I mean, come on. Shaggy and Scooby are potheads. I mean, like, there's no way that's not funny to us now. You know what I mean? Like, they always had the munchies.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, like, we get that now. We didn't get that as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As kids, it was just like, oh, it was just like Scooby was just funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, but I think that some cartoons are just timeless.
Yeah.
And and every generation has their set of popular cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had the Cartoon Network kind of started really with our generation. You know what I mean? Like because I don't think that Cartoon Network was really around before the 90s. I don't.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I remember when it was like a brand new. I remember when it was like a brand new channel, man. Like like. I was like, dude, they got Cartoon Network,
like, holy shit, a cartoon channel? This is unheard of. A cartoon
channel.
I don't have to watch those tapes over and over again anymore.
Seriously, man. Oh, yeah. Like, I used to watch VHS tapes, like, watching them over and over, like, I used to watch The Jungle Book all the time, though.
Oh, shit.
The Jungle Book was one of my favorite movies.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Favorite quote from Rudyard Kipling as well is, the strength of the wolf is the pack, and the strength of the pack is the wolf. One of my favorite quotes from the Jungle Book. Man, there was like one final question. Cartoons. 2D and 3D. Do you think there's like a sense of that timelessness is lost in 3D films and shows these days? What's your view on them compared to 2D cartoons that we were, brought up with?
Well, I mean, 3D is revolutionary. Like, I like going to the movies, and like when I first saw Avatar, it was in 3D, and when I first saw Clash of Titans, it was in 3D, and when I first saw, I kind of want to go see the Finding Nemo in 3D.
Nice.
The new one that came out. They just re-released it.
Yep.
But those are movies, like the 3D movies, you can only view them in the theaters, or if you have a 3D TV, with the glasses. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, like, it kind of takes away from the time, from the fact that the cartoon could be a timeless cartoon, because you can't really relive that unless you have the means to do it, unless you have the ability to see it in 3D. If you have that kind of a TV, or if you go spend money to go and see it in the theater, and it might not even be in the theater anymore. So, but it's the 2D ones, you can play those anywhere.
Exactly.
You can watch that on any TV. So
even on the iPhone.
Like, you could pull it up on YouTube. You know what I mean? And it'd be exactly the same. You know what I mean? Like, exactly the same experience. But I think that 3D is cool. I like to go and watch 3D movies every now and then, depending on the kind of movie. Like, I mean, like, if it would look cool in 3D, like, if it, like, I really wanted to see the second Clash of the Titans, the Wrath of the Titans.
I still haven't seen it. Yeah.
I mean neither. I still haven't gotten a chance to see it. The first one I thought was good.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, the second one's gonna be dope, because I saw like all the mythical creatures and the monsters and everything, and it looked all badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's just another step in animation, and hopefully in the future, they'll make TVs like that, I guess, a little bit more inexpensive, I guess, or affordable, I guess you could say.
Yeah, man.
That way everybody can enjoy it.
Enjoy the 3D experience. All right, Q, man. I think we'll wrap it up there for now. Because I think if I go for too long, people will like get tired. I'm like, oh, sleep time, because of the interviews. I remember one of my interviews went for like an hour and a half, and even for me, I was like, after about half hour, I was like, holy shit, this is long. So I like trying to break it up, you know.
Going? How long we going? Do you know?
Oh shit, 53 minutes. All good,
on
man.
The interview alone?
Huh?
On the interview alone, or the whole time we've been talking?
Interview alone.
Oh,
wait,
shit.
no, hold up. No, you may be right. The interview itself, I think, might be shorter, but all good, man. I'll stop recording, but officially, I'll say thank you, Q. It was lovely seeing you again and hearing your views on music, song, dance, and animation. Randomly enough, I doubt you get asked about animation a lot.
No, I don't. But it's always good to see an old friend and to talk about something different, man. Shoot, I like to expand my mind, and I'm blown in the motherfucker right now. So my mind is open.
Nice. All right, thanks, man.